Hello guys, my name is Piotr and today I will be talking about the HomeKit and all the things connected to the HomeKit. So let's get through the agenda. I will shortly describe you what is the HomeKit. Then I will describe also the structure, how the HomeKit looks like under the hood. Then we will see how to integrate the HomeKit in your own application. What the steps you need to do. How to test the HomeKit applications. I will tell also about the MFI program. And at the end of this presentation, there will be some kind of a bonus that I won't tell you right now. So yeah. So let's get started. First question: what the HomeKit is? HomeKit itself is a framework that Apple has released right with iOS 8 in July 2014, and it was a framework which allows us to communicate with and control our smart home devices. You probably could know that in these days we have many devices that you can control over your iPhone. For example, light bulb or any fan or air conditioner. Like I said, this framework was announced in July 2014 with iOS 8, but at the start it was only the framework. Apple has not released any application. There was only this framework. So all the developers needed to check the documentation and test it on itself. And HomeKit itself is it's only a database. It's not an application. It's a database similar to HealthKit and the PassKit. And after 2 years, right with iOS 10, Apple has released an application for the HomeKit. So, like there is an application for the HealthKit, Health, and the Passbook for the PassKit. There is also an application for the HomeKit, which is just Home. And yeah, I think that's enough for the HomeKit. What is exactly? And this is the structure of the HomeKit. That's how it looks like. At the top, we have one object of Home Manager, which manages our homes in the HomeKit database, because we can have many homes. Why not? Every home, of course, can have many rooms: kitchen, bedroom, dinner room. Every room can have many zones and many accessories. And here is most important thing. Every accessory can have many services, and you can imagine an accessory, a device which have, for example, a speaker, but also a microphone. So this device could have two services for the speaker and the microphone. And it will be included in just one accessory. So that doesn't mean you need to have for every service every new accessory. And of course, every accessory can have many actions and triggers, which can be invoked for example, after action. Let's say we want to turn off the speaker and turn off the light at the night. So this will be our action. And yeah, it's really simple. All we need to remember actually that we only have one Home Manager and many other objects. That's all. And right now we can check the Apple example. You could ask me why I have decided to show you an Apple example, not my own application. And that's because while doing this presentation, I decided that it makes no sense to present my own application, which at the end will be the same as the Apple example, because HomeKit is doing actually only one thing. It's communicating with our devices. And I just don't want to reinvent the wheel. If there is an application that we can check, let's check it what Apple has prepared for us. This example is public on the developer apple.com. You don't need to have your developer account or paid account. It's free and it's public. First of all, the most important thing is to just add this capability HomeKit, like you would do for any other capability, like push notifications, which is probably the most famous right now. You also need to add the description for the user why you want to use the HomeKit in your application. And next thing is just to make an instance of the Home Manager. Here you can see that Apple has prepared a singleton of Home Store which have a Home Manager in it, and the other properties which are a set of objects of delegates for the home and for the accessories. One more important thing, when you create an instance of the Home Manager, iOS automatically is asking a user for access to the HomeKit. You don't need to call any of the functions, for example, ask for permission or other things like that. You just only need to create an instance. And it's really important because you need to remember that this Home Manager should be created at a good time. Not maybe at the start of the application in the app delegate. It's not a good idea. But in the moment when you really want to use the HomeKit. And next thing, maybe I will present you this application, how it looks like. It's really easy. As you can see, we have an accessory list, but it's not an accessory, but it's services, because here it is connected only one accessory with two services, garage door and light. We can play with these services, so we can close the door or turn off the light. We can also tap on the information button to see the information of this service and this accessory. So yeah, there is a name, there is a room. There is also a settings row, which brought us to the settings control. And here we have characteristics of this service. So every service can have many characteristics which are the states of this device. So let's say we have a current door state, which will be one characteristic, and other lock current state. All of these characteristics can be writable, but also some of them are only read-only, so you can't write to them. And yeah, that's all. It's a really simple application with only three view controllers. You can also add first controller, add your new device, and that's all. So how it looks under the hood, it's really easy. At the start of this application, in view did load of the accessories view controller, we are passing the delegate of Home Manager to be this view controller. And we want to do that because, first of all, we need to take the primary home of our HomeKit. And it's really important because without that, we can't display any of the service. Next thing, there will be invoked real data, and we will load all the accessories. But here, Apple has filtered the accessories because they want only to to show only the accessories of the specific manufacturer. Also, we are loading all of the services that are user interactive, so user can play with them. And for the all characteristics in the given service that can send us an event, we want to just enable notification. It's made because if something changes outside of our application, let's say we have connected a second phone with the same accessory, and on that second phone someone has changed, for example, if the light was turned on or off, the first device needs to be informed about the change, and that's why this function is invoked. So the next thing would be just the common stuff to display these services in the collection view. And now to actually play with the HomeKit, Apple is accessing the characteristic in the accessory settings view controller. They are displaying this in every cell, and every cell has its own action, which is here. And to change the value of this characteristic, we need only to invoke a write value function. And yeah, that's all. It's really easy. I would say it's really easy framework to get now. The documentation is really good. You actually need to just remember how the structure in the HomeKit looks like. I think we can get back to the presentation. But now the most important thing, we know how to integrate the HomeKit in the application, but there's a question how to test it. And of course, Apple has prepared for that. They have prepared for us a tool called HomeKit Accessory Simulator, which is also free. You don't need to have a developer account. And this tool allows us to simulate a device at home or wherever we are without a physical device. To download this accessory simulator, you need to go to the developer apple.com and just find that on the download page. Or when you turn on the capability of the HomeKit in your application, there is a button to download HomeKit Simulator. It downloads the latest version, and it looks like that. Maybe I'll be full screen. It's really small, but I can't zoom it, sorry. First of all, we have one device, which is our Bluetooth device, and it represents our MacBook because we have only one Bluetooth receiver in the MacBook. So we can test the Bluetooth devices with the HomeKit. We can add here any service or the characteristic, and we can add a Wi-Fi devices. Let's say we want to add our new test device. So we tap on the plus button and new accessory. We need to enter the name. Let's say it will be test fan. We tap on enter. And yeah, actually the device is ready. We can find that device in home application. And some important things. Here is the QR code that you need to use to pair with this device. There is also a pin code at the top. If you would like to enter a pin code manually without using your QR code. There is also a number of pair devices and connections with this device. Here is also one service that is added by default. And this service is really important because without accessory information service, HomeKit would not see your device. In this service, we have a couple of things like manufacturer name, model, serial number, and there is also an identify property, which is responsible for identifying your device. Because let's say we have 10 or maybe even 5 devices, the same devices on the table, and we are connecting to one of them, and we need to know which was connected to. Then, while connecting, we can call the identify function, and this device should, in some way, tell you that you are connected to actually this, not the other one. So that's why it is here, and it's really important. And right now, let's say we want to add a service of the fan. So we tap at the bottom, add service. Here, we can select any of the services that are actually by default implemented in the HomeKit. And you can also add your own custom service, but I will tell you about that later. Right now, let's add just a fan device, service. We want to create also optional characteristics to have them all already. And yeah, that's all. We have here device. Now we can test that if it's working. Maybe I would move to the next screen. We are opening the house application. We tap on the add accessory. I would say, yes, I want to manually add the accessory. Here it is, test one. Now there is a pop-up that this device is uncertified, but also about that I will tell you later. Right now let's tap on the add anyway. And here we need to enter this pin code, which was here. So let's enter it. Yeah, it's really small. And device was connected. We can check a room to which it should be added, or just tap on the done. And here it is. Now let's say we want to turn our fan. And what is most important right now? All the changes in the application in the HomeKit simulator are done in live. So every change in the application will be visible here. And also, in the second way, if we change this in simulator something, the value will also change in the home application, as you can see. So this is the way you can test any of the device at home. And I was talking about custom services and custom characteristics, because you can, let's say, add your own custom characteristic. Let's say this fan has a light bulb. Why not? So we would enter a manufacturer description light bulb turned on. It will be a Boolean. We can enter the units. There is a UID which our characteristic needs to have, because the HomeKit will find this characteristic by this UID, and we can add this. It is here, but now if you tap on the application and tap on the settings, there is no other characteristic than that was before, and that's because every custom service or every custom characteristic that you will add will not show in the home application. HomeKit is will only display the characteristics and services that are implemented in the HomeKit by default. If you want to add something custom, you need to prepare your own application. And yeah, just remember about that. Take that in mind when you will play with the simulator. And now, Apple MFI program. It's a shortcut made for the iPhone, iPad, and iPod. And that program was made for the not maybe for only developers, but for the companies that would like to prepare new devices for the HomeKit. And by this program, you can get an access to the full HomeKit protocol specification. I said it full because recently, 2 years ago, Apple has released a non-commercial version of this protocol specification, and right now it's on the developer apple.com. Also, you don't need to have a developer account to access that specification. And it was something big because so far to WWDC 2017, this specification was only for the companies that have an access to the MFI program. And I said because this program was only for companies. Individual developer couldn't apply to this program. You needed to have your own company. It don't needed to be a manufacturer, but you needed to have your company. And by this program, you could also get an access to all circuits and plugins needed to build the device, because there is an Apple chip for the HomeKit, which you need to place in your device, because without the chip, you will see that pop-up that your device is uncertified, and it can harm your device, right? Your iPhone or something like that. Apple has added that because they don't want to harm the other users, because someone prepared a device with the specification that was in the internet. When you apply for the MFI program, you also need to company need to missing parts to fill the NDA. So every specification on the MFI program has a waterprint in the document. And if this document would leak to the internet, then everyone will know who has sent this document. And also with the MFI program, you can get the access to the beta documentation, testing applications. For example, you can download an application that is made for the testing purposes of authentication process. And you could ask if there is any difference between a full specification and non-commercial. there is a difference actually of one chapter, but really important chapter. I can't tell you which chapter it is because I would break my NDA. So sorry, I can't. But with all non-commercial version of the specification, you can still prepare your own device. And this whole process of the pairing, of the authentication, this with the HomeKit, it's not really easy. It's hard to do that. So yeah, without this specification, you actually wouldn't do this device because you wouldn't know how to authenticate with the HomeKit. And there are two licenses of the MFI program. First is a development license, which is commonly used by every company that doesn't have a manufacturer. And there is also a manufacturing license, which you can get if you have a manufacturer. Yes, this MFI program is a paid one. You need to pay it, if I remember correctly, $100. But it's paid only once. It's not a year pay. And right now it's time to the bonus. Yeah, secret chapter. What if I tell you that you can make your own HomeKit smart home device at home without MFI program? Actually, it's really easy to do, but there is one thing. You need to know a basic knowledge of JavaScript. Yeah, why JavaScript, not Swift? That's because there are already prepared two solutions of the HomeKit server in Node.js, in JavaScript. There is also one implementation of this server in Swift, but this implementation of the server in JavaScript is the most stable one and the most popular, actually. So that's why I think it's the best option to test these devices at home, to play with HomeKits, to add a HomeKit to your device that didn't have the HomeKit implementation before. Let's say Philips Hue. It's a smart device, but it's not implementing the HomeKit. And with that, you can add your light bulb without any problem at your home. And the first solution is just implementation of this HomeKit accessory server in Node.js. It's a screenshot from yesterday, if I remember. So as you can see, it's really used in many projects. It has many stars. It's recently it's really updated often. And with this solution, you can get the ready server. All you need to do is to implement your device in the JavaScript. But there is also the other solution, the Home Bridge, which is including this solution before, this hub Node.js. It's a dependency of the Home Bridge. And the difference is that, like they said, it's a support for the impatient. So with the Home Bridge, actually you don't need to write any line of the code. If there is any plugin that someone has written already, you can install that plugin on your Raspberry or computer, etc. HomeBridge will take you we'll take the setup part on it. You will need only to enter something like a pin code, for example. So the home bridge is the easiest way to play with your device, but only if there is already implemented plugin for your device. And if you're just preparing a new test device, then there will be no plugin for that device, and you will need to use Hypno.js. And it's time for the live demo. I hope it will work. Let's see. Here with me is a Raspberry Pi. It's a third version with a Raspbian on it. I have prepared here my device, which actually tells me if my Vapor server on the digital ocean is turned on or turned off. And of course I can change the state with my phone. So let's try if it's working. Here is the server. It's only the default implementation of the Vapor, so as you can see, it only sends a text if it works. Right now it works. And let's try to pair with this device. So we tap on the plus button. We tap on the add accessory. We don't have a QR code, and here it is. It's a droplet. We're tapping on it. We have a pop-up. Sorry, Apple, I don't have a chip. There is a easy pin code, 1111. Adding, yeah, and it's added. That's it. As you can see, my server is turned on, so let's try. Yeah, it's still working. Now let's try to turn it off. I'm tapping on this device. There is an indicator view that tells us something is happening. Okay, server is not turned on. Let's see. Yeah, probably it is. It looks like Safari is not loading that server. But now let's try to turn it on again. Again, indicator. We're waiting. Okay. It should be working. Let's try. Whoops. Oh, it's the previous one. No? Yeah, it works. So as you can see, you can prepare your own device at home. If you would like to see how it looks under the hood, I mean the code in the JavaScript, first of all, let's say I'm not a JavaScript guru, sorry. So it can look bad, but let's see. First of all, we need to add dependencies of this server, accessory service, characteristic, and UEID. There is also a Digital Ocean library. And here we are preparing an object that will represent our service, our accessory. We have only one property, power on, function for the set power on. It is setting this property and is invoking the function to power the droplet. There is also a function to identify this device. Actually, it's only checking the droplet status to update it on the start of the device. Here are the functions that was implemented to change the status of the droplet. And here is the initialization of this accessory. So we are making new instance of the new accessory. We need to enter a username, which looks like a MAC address. It needs to be unique. Two devices can't have the same username. You also need to enter your PIN code. You need to set the manufacturer name. You're adding a callback for the identify function. And then you can add services that you would like to configure in your fake accessory. Here I am adding a switch service, which is implemented in this server by default. There are all the services that are implemented in the HomeKit right now. I am setting the callback for the setter of this property to change the value of the status of the droplet status. And I'm also setting a callback for the function to get this status. And that's all. More than 100 lines of code. Not bad. So as you can see, it's not the hardest part of the work. And in your own home, you can just play with the HomeKit, try to maybe create maybe a new device that you would like to show someone. Maybe it will be a good thing to start your company, who knows. It's a good idea to just play with the HomeKit to know how it is working. And with this solution, you can easily do that. So, yeah, actually, I think that's all from me. Thank you, and it's the right time for any questions.
If I have my own characteristic and need to create my own app, is there any way to easily reuse or implement the home app functionality, or I need to build everything ground up?
No, you can build the, let's say, your maybe library or the part of the code that is responsible for detecting this characteristic and share it between your applications. Because with the Swift, you can make that in the extension for the home service, let's say. And actually, Apple has done that in their service, because as you can see, there is a fade rate characteristic that is a custom one. And it is here. It's the UID of this characteristic. It is added to displayable characteristic because the Apple has displayed only these ones characteristics. So you can prepare this type of the extension and share it between your own applications. Is there any other question?
Why do you need to build your own HomeKit app for iPhone?
You mean the HomeKit app or the home device?
No, not the device. So this is the home app that you created, but the iPhone already has.
Yeah, it's.
So what kind of solutions you are providing with building your custom solutions with accessing to the devices?
This application actually was built by Apple, but you need to prepare your own application if you want to show your own services or your custom characteristics, because in the home application you can't play with the characteristics which was added outside of the HomeKit. So as you can see, like for example this fade rate, in the home application it will not show. And we need to prepare our application to give an user to allow the user to change this value if our device has something custom.
But then why do I need HomeKit? I can just build my own protocol.
Yeah.
I want to just custom control my devices. The idea of HomeKit is actually having a hub.
Yeah, because it's a protocol implemented by Apple to share also the devices between many users. Because if you, for example, if you have in the home HomeKit or the iPad, then you can add all of the devices that are in the home to your own account and share all the devices between many users. And you can access these devices not only in your house, but on the network by let's say Wi-Fi. Yeah, by network. So let's say you are 100 kilometers away from the home, and still you can change the something at home, and also other users can do that. And it was prepared by Apple to give users an opportunity to do that in the really easy way, and to build other devices, because right now there are many companies that are preparing these smart home devices, and they actually want to implement the HomeKit because it's easier for them to implement something which was already done than implement its own solution.
So, is there any other reason than branding to build my own applications for my devices? Like, have you ever seen or built such an application that I would say that thanks to this application I'm able to have these additional functionalities?
No, because you can achieve the same thing with your own solution, but we need to take in mind that it's an Apple. It's a brand, it's a big brand, so if we prepare a device which implements a HomeKit by default, then there is a big possibility that this device will be something big that user would like to buy.
It's one last question about that. Why mobile developers should care about HomeKit then? It looks like a little bit hobbyist thing. So let's say I'm a mobile developer. Should I learn how to build, how to access to these devices? Will any client come to me for any type of project?
No, of course. If you don't have any client or the project that will be using the HomeKit, then it's only a kind of the hobby. So if you would like to, it's the same thing like you would like to learn the other language. It's again the next dependency because it is dependency that we just need or can know, and actually who knows, maybe in future there will be a client who would like to build an application for the HomeKit, and I think it's really good to know all the Apple solutions if you are, for example, iOS developer, to just know what you can achieve with the Apple solutions.
I have, for example, one app. I'm using Philips Hue lights and HomeKit. It's disco lights, so it records the music from the microphone and then changes the lights depending on the beats. But I was wondering, have you ever also done such app? That's why maybe you were researching about this subject.
Recently, in my previous work, we were working on the device that was made for the PM10 and PM2 density to detect the air condition. and we were working on the research if it's really if there is a sense to build any device or our own application. So yeah, but that was in my previous work. Right now I'm just playing with the HomeKit at home and trying to maybe do something smart for my wife. Why not?
And can you access to HomeKit when the app is on background?
Yeah. If you build your own application with the background capability, then the application can work in the background. Thank you.